To become better at time management and productivity, there are a few guiding fundamental principles that you do need to follow. Not following these principles will lead inevitably to overwhelm, stress, and backlogs. Today I'm going to show you one area that often gets neglected, and yet if you can stay on top of it, you are going to find yourself always on top of your work. Those principles actually include just three things. You need to collect stuff, you need to organize the stuff that you collected, and of course you need to do that stuff when it needs to be done. And that's it. Collect stuff, organize stuff, do stuff. Basically, three processes to follow. But today I want to focus on that collecting and processing part. The doing stuff is going to be different for all of us, so I'm going to leave that to one side. In this particular video, I want to just focus on the inbox, the place that you are collecting stuff, and showing you how you can actually process that, i.e. organize it, so that it's fast, efficient, and doesn't waste time, so you can ultimately spend more time doing stuff that matters. Now, before we get deep into this video, I should let you know that I do have a completely free online course that it will take you about 45 minutes to do, that will take you through these three areas: the collecting, the organizing, and the doing. The course is called my COD course, C-O-D, Collect, Organize, and Do. And I strongly advise that you take this course if you do nothing else. It's 45 minutes of your time, but it's going to lay the foundations on which you can build whatever system that you want. The course is free, and how to enroll in that course is going to be in the show notes below. Please don't miss this opportunity. As I say, the course is free. It's only going to cost you 45 minutes of your time, and yet those 45 minutes is going to be like a huge, massive, successful investment because of what you will learn in that course. Okay, let's get started with processing the inbox, which I think is going to be part of the key to being able to quickly move through the collecting, the organizing, so that you can spend more time doing. Okay, so here is what I would describe as a typical inbox. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each one and show you how to do it. Now, before we start, I should point out that I use a time management system called the time sector system. Now, essentially that breaks things down into when am I going to do the task? Because ultimately it doesn't matter how much you have to do. The only thing that really matters is when are you going to do it? And that's how basically my decision-making process is going. Now, I've done a lot on the time sector system. If you want to learn more about that, then I will connect a video or link to a video in the show notes. But let's get started. So right up at the top here, I've got presentation to Jenny. Now, the thing with this is that this is not actually very clear. What does that mean? What do I have to do with it? So I have a clue because it says presentation to Jenny, but I know what I need to do here. When I collected the task, I was in a bit of a rush. So send time management. By the way, you're going to find out how bad I am at spelling here. Send time management presentation to Jenny. Now, I know that's great. That's clear. I know exactly what I need to do. That needs to be done this week because Jenny needs it before the end of the week. So I'm going to do this on, well, tomorrow, because it's only going to take me 3 or 4 minutes to do. So I'll do that tomorrow. And then I'm going to do that in the afternoon, because I know I do my communications in the afternoon, and I'll add a label. That's communication because I'm sending something. And that's it. Now, while we're here, I only have 8 labels, and you'll see as we go through this process why that's important, and certainly you'll see it at the end. But I want to be able to make quick decisions about what something is. So that's why I keep my labels to a minimum. Too many labels, and I'm thinking, oh, is it a 2-minute task? Is it a 5-minute task? Is it an hour task? Or should I be here? Do I need a computer? I have no time when I'm processing my inbox to deal with that, simply because if it does take you too long, you won't do it. So I make this as quick as I possibly can. There we go. So that's the first one done and it's out of the inbox. Now we're down to 9. Okay, this was an email that came in from Brian Tracy this morning. I need to have a look at this before I make a decision. I haven't got time now because I'm basically trying to clear my inbox. This is already pretty clear what I need to do. So I'm just going to go into there. This is going to be moved to this week. Due date is going to be today, and I'm going to make that a P3. Again, I'm going to look at that in the afternoon, and something like this is always going to be admin, and that's it, job done. So that one's easy. Now, the next one, the third one, is Chase Helga Brandt. Now, the problem I've got with this is it's not very clear. What does that mean? I could have added this 3 or 4 weeks ago. I'm thinking, oh, right, who is Helga Brandt? So I need to know what to write here. So Chase about, this is a key word there, Chase Helga Brandt about mountain retreat. Now I know exactly what it is. I'm going to put this into, well, this actually doesn't need to be this week. I can do that next week. I already know this week now, given that I'm recording this on Wednesday. That's going to go into next week. I can make a decision on that when I do my weekly planning. RK visit in September. Now I know what this means, but when I wrote it, fortunately I know what this means, but when I wrote it, I was in a rush. This actually doesn't make sense and probably wouldn't make sense next week if I wasn't processing my inbox very frequently. So RK, I know what RK is the code I use for my wife. So talk to RK about mum's visit in September. There we go. Now I know what that is. I know precisely what it means. My wife is away until Friday now, so that's going to have to be done. Well, it has to be done this week. She's not back until Friday afternoon, so I'm going to put that for Friday. I already know it's going to be the afternoon, so I'm going to make that a P3. And I should point out, I will point out in a moment how I use my priorities. That's clearly a communication task, job done, and it's all in. Next one up is Enter Kyompo Marathon. Don't need to do that this week. I'm going to do that next week, so I can just drag that one in. Danny Wild, US trip in May. That's okay because I've got an email attached to that, so that will tell me exactly what I need to do. Again, I don't actually need to do that this month. I'm already stacked, so I'm going to put that into next month. Approval form for Graham. He needs this by the 31st of October. Now, given that I'm recording this on the 14th, gives me 2 weeks before he needs this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to review. I know what that means. It's a review approval form for Graham. And he needs it by the 31st of August. So again, I don't really need to do that this week. I already know I'm stacked and the only time I have available now is going to be Saturday morning. So I'm just going to move that off into next week. I do a weekly plan on a Saturday morning consistently. So I'm going to see this on Saturday and I can then come back and decide when I'm going to do it. Decide what I want to do about redesigning my website. Now, August, I usually redesign my website. I haven't decided on that yet, but this isn't going to happen now. I don't know when, so I'm going to just put that into this month. Again, I know I'm going to review these folders on Saturday. So between now, Wednesday, and Saturday, it doesn't really matter where these go. The only things I need to know about is what needs to happen today, tomorrow, and Friday. That's it, because Saturday I will do a weekly plan. Bill's reference, I know this needs to be right, so this isn't very clear because it could mean anything. So I know what that means. Write Bill's reference. I'm going to save that. I'm going to put that in again. It's going to be next week now. Bill doesn't need it until right away, so I already know I'm stacked. So that's going to be in next week. And review September's workshop notes. Now this one's an interesting one because this relates to a project that I have, and what I need to do is link this to my project note. So what I can do is go over to my project note, which is in Evernote. If I click on the 3 dots up at the top here, I can copy web link. I'm going to copy that, job done, and I'm going to drop that. Now what I can do is I'm just going to highlight this into Todoist and add the link, paste that in and apply, and now that's done. Now again, I've got this situation, although I've now cleared up what that task is, all I need to do is click on that and bang, it's going to open up the project note. But what I really want to do is I'm going to move this into next week because I don't need to do that this week. I know I don't have time for this week, so I'm just going to drop that in to next week. And that's it. I have now processed my inbox, and that's why I love the time set to system, simply because it just makes things so fast. I know I will be doing a weekly planning session on Saturday. I can then go into my next week folder. I can look through these and decide which ones can be moved forward into this week. I can also see which ones I need to reschedule, so to speak, because I haven't done them. And I usually always look at this month to see what needs to happen this month, and again pull things forward if I need to. Right now because we're in the middle of August, I don't need to worry about next month. Right now I only need to worry about this area here, these three. These are the places where the tasks that need to be done this week are going to happen this week. Next month, and my long-term on hold, I will look at in the last week of August. So there you go. That's how I process the inbox. This is all part of that organizing part of COD. So you've got the collecting, which generally we're very good at. We throw everything into the inbox. Processing your inbox is part of the organization, which is also critical, but it needs to be fast so that you can have enough time to get the work done. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you want to learn more about how I use my labels, then this video up here is the next one I suggest you watch.